And here we go off to the Gnoll Fortress. So this should be an adventure. There's a lot of really neat items here and a lot of neat other stuff. We're here. You start here at a bridge. You're going to be encountered by two Ogrillons, who are basically half ogres. And they're going to demand that we pay a toll to cross the bridge, and I'm going to tell them we don't have any money.
Helm, as you will.
And they should try and beat it out of us.
You go nowhere. This our bridge. You pay to walk it.
Pay 200 golds for all heads, so, you know, 1,200 bucks isn't really looking great. Okay, maybe 200. 100 for all heads. You had, we kill you, take
Helm,
stuff.
For the glory of Helm!
And he goes down right away. And this one should now too. These guys actually have a really great item on them. I wouldn't call it game breaking, but it's quite important. And that is these gauntlets. They automatically turn your dexterity to 18. That means Ajantis can become much more of a tank than he was previously, because he now has -6 armor class, which is pretty much about as low as we're going to be able to get it in this game. Contrary to what I would typically do when I actually played through the game, like just for funsies, we're not going to do the Gnoll Stronghold first. We're going to go get the treasure items. So below the Gnoll Stronghold itself is this sort of pathway, and it'll take you to a series of caves, and they're filled with monsters and also pretty good treasure. So we're going to go ahead and nab that. And it's snowing. So nothing up here. It's been a while since I've played, so I kind of forget where the caves are. And I always remember that I used to miss one of the caves pretty much every time. So I'd be like, I swear there's 3 caves. Where's the 3rd cave? So I'm aiming not to do that on video this time, because that would make for a lot of stuff that I have to cut out. So we'll just see how we go. Okay, and the main enemy you're going to encounter down here are Svarts. So we're reasonably safe. Some of the caves will have different monsters that we'll need to be more afraid of and more cautious with. But Svarts are kind of old hat for us. They only give us 15 experience, so the game's kind of telling us that it's not a big deal. Even with the double damage, they can't hurt us that badly. So we're just down here along the bottom of the map, and we'll walk on up shortly, and we should find ourselves a cave. There we go, a cave. So in we go.
Yeah.
And I think, yeah, this one's only got Svarts in it. And the morale breaks. I don't want to use any spells to make this go quicker, because, see, Minsk, who's died every time something has hit him, just got hit by a Svart, and it did hardly anything to him. So, bonus, we may actually get through a video without a ton of deaths. So we'll just loot these guys real quick. It shouldn't be anything too special. Spell scroll down here. Oh, nope. I keep mistaking the swords for spell scrolls. I get so excited. But we'll check real quick with tab. Nothing to click on. Nothing in here besides some bats. So we're going to skedaddle and head on back up. There will be another place for us to go. And that will have 2 more caves. Some more Svarts to peel through. It would be really sad and embarrassing if I died to these Svarts, because we've got bigger fishies to fry coming up. And it will be pretty punishing if we end up getting destroyed by these Svarts. So, because my only experience on Insane is, the previous playthrough I quit on Tutu, and my previous playthrough that I did on my own time that didn't make it past Olgoth's beard. So we'll see. That, at least in that format, I completed the overwhelming majority of the game. So I know that it is doable. I don't know if it's doable with this particular party and setup. So we walk into a cave and there are some more Zvarts. And we're just going to pick through them. This is one of those caves where you need to be a little careful about where you move and how you do it, because there's a carrion crawler in here, and while that by itself normally isn't something to be alarmed about, it can paralyze you, and that is something to be alarmed about, because if it freezes you in place, especially on insane difficulty, our gooses will be cooked. So I would prefer not to do that.
You rang?
And they gave us a lot of gems. I remember getting incredibly... One nice thing about Enhanced Edition is the inclusion from Tutu, I would think, of the gem bag. So, or at least Baldur's Gate 2. Of the gem bag. Because I used to get so annoyed when things would drop necklaces. Because they take up so much space. This carrion crawler is scary, but he's dead, and he gives us 400 experience. So kind of paltry considering that we've been taking down 1000 XP winter wolves. But hey, whatever. It's a carrion crawler. He can freeze you in place. Don't let him freeze you in place. And then here's the oft overlooked cave directly beside other cave, and this is the one with the treasure in it. So some Zvarts are living in it. They don't even know what they've got, so we're gonna liberate it from them. Don't worry, Zvarts are evil. It's okay to kill evil things sometimes. And there's one up there. Okay, and we've spent that, so we're gonna have Nira pick up the gem just to save time. And it's one of those crappy gems, so not a big deal. And we're gonna have Emmeline check the box, because I'm deeply suspicious of all boxes everywhere. It looks okay, so we're gonna get into it here. It's got 100 gold, some nice spells, and a book. A heavy book. And scroll, okay, and it'll give you 1 point of charisma forever. So I'm going to go ahead and read that, because I could sell this book and get a ton of money off of it, because I don't really need charisma. But man, it's charisma points. This is so sweet. Alright, there we go. Look at that. Awesome possum. So throw some more gems in there, and now we're going to get into the meat and potatoes of the Gnoll Fortress, which is the fortress itself. Right now we're just sort of on the outskirts. Gonna pass around some stuff to Nira, make sure that she's got it. Because the Gnolls, while, as you've seen, Gnolls haven't been particularly threatening to me or my party so far, there tend to be a lot of Gnolls up here, and I'm still a little wary about how monster spawns have been handled. So we could end up fighting like 50 or 70, Gnolls. Probably not, but it won't be a huge deal. I think we're gonna have to use most of our spells though. Pretty much for sure, especially our area of effect spells like sleep. If you're looking for like an optimal spell loadout to bring here, any area of effect spell is going to be in your favor, and I just walked along a path that was completely wrong. And Jontas is going to have to fight the same Zvarts over again, so I'll go on my point. If you're going to come here and you're looking for what kind of spells to bring spells like Color Spray, Sleep, oddly enough, Hold Person, if you've got a level 2 Cleric on your hands, or a second level spellcasting Cleric. Entangle is really good if you've got a druid. Those sorts of things, because what's going to kill you here isn't the fact that there are any particularly difficult to kill monsters. It's going to be that there are so many of them that they overwhelm you, and the terrain that you fight on is really tight, and it has a lot of stairways and stuff. And so if you have a lot of archers, which is how I go about life, note that I have 5 people using projectile weapons. They tend to have a lot of trouble getting involved in fights, so you're pretty much just soloing a horde of enemies at the top of the stairs, which kind of is a spot if you have Minsk or are a barbarian or berserker, where you can kind of shine because you just use your berserk ability and then run up there and destroy everything. But and maybe they designed it that way so that if you brought Minsk here, you could see how good he was with that ability, because he won't see your party members down on the stairs below, and so he won't attack them while he's berserk. Oh, and we see some gnolls. So here are the first gnolls of many. I'm going to count 4 here, so we're going to try and keep a death count. Just for perspective. I don't intend to do... Oh, Minsk. Back up, Minsk. Don't you die. I really don't want to use that health potion, because health potions are expensive. We don't really have a lot of choices. So there are the first 4 casualties from the Gnoll population. And our party's looking a little beat up. So we'll see how that turns out, but I think we'll be okay. And we get a gem. Throw that in the bag. And we'll continue on. You can also get Edwin to bring here, of course, too. And he's the most powerful wizard in the game. Even more so powerful than a player character wizard, unless you are towards the end of the game when you get some buffs that can come up. But more likely than not, you will never achieve Edwin status, particularly if you didn't start out with 18 intelligence. This up route leads you to the exit grid for the forest region above. We'll hit that in another video, because this one's going to be pretty long. I just thought I'd point that out. And you walk up these stairs, and we have Gnoll victim number 5, 6, 7, and 8. So they're tending to spawn in groups of 4. That's good. Oh, Ajantis takes a hit, but see, it doesn't kill him, unlike everything else that's been hitting us. And they got mad at probably Kaivan, because Kaivan is getting a lot of kills and damage because of the bracers we got off of that dart throwing guy. Help him to hit so often. We get another crappy gem. Throw those away. Into the bag. And we gotta heal up some. I really don't like doing that, because that's pretty much the end of the spells for me. But we can't try and do this without any heals, because it's gonna be a while before we have many chances to do other stuff. So we continue on up here, and we'll see our first stairwell over here to the right. We may get unlucky here. Nope. Alright, so it's a good idea to have your melee types walk up first and then archers follow behind them, because the game doesn't really always understand what you're trying to get it to do when you click on those stairs. And they're going to do their best now, but see, we had 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 Gnoll victims so far. And we're going to use our sleep spell to get them up there, and see, that takes them pretty much all out of the fight, and that makes it a lot safer for us, so we can actually get here and get up off of the stairs, so that my party can actually fight these guys. Because that's the main challenge of the Gnoll Stronghold, are those stairwells that make it such that your characters can't move around or help fight. And Imoen levels up, so that's nice. And nothing to click on. I'm still not used to using tab, though, in this game. Get some gold. You'll get some pretty meager amounts of gold and a bunch of jewelry and stuff like that. And maybe some weak spell scrolls, which can come in handy from time to time. Mostly just junk, though.
With Helm's
And
blessing.
now we'll continue on. That first pit there doesn't have anything in it. We need to make sure Ajantis is here. So again, you know, if you have a lot of melee fighters in your party, this spot will really punish you, because you've got Gnolls 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and 23 all up here, and they're going to fight you in this little corridor, and you can't get past. So again, you know, a sleep scroll or something, or a spell like that would come in handy. I didn't feel like doing that because I didn't know what we were going to come across in the forest regions, and a sleep scroll might not always save you from a winter wolf. I'm going to go ahead and just blow all our spells, because this is more or less the end of the Gnoll Stronghold, and these Gnolls are Gnoll veterans, so they're much stronger. As you can see, we're having a little bit harder time with them. But luckily, they're melee characters, so they're able to all attack Ajantis. But they're being blocked from everybody else. It would be terrible if we were just, like, wading into them.
Go for the eyes, boo. Go for
And he
the
goes
eyes.
down, and this is the chieftain that we're fighting now. And he's gonna try and walk away, but we're gonna leave the chieftain for last. That way he gets to see all of his Gnoll cohorts slaughtered first. And there he goes, 120 XP for the Gnoll chieftain. And he's got a special arrow, which will come in very handy soon, and some spell scrolls.
You right. What's this then?
We must
And
always
the
strive
rest
to be
probably
role
just have
models.
gold and other junk. Now, I should talk about Imoen did level up, but we're going to wait on that just for now. There's really no reason to wait, but I'm not sure how spawning works in this game, and she's at an odd level, so I'd have to turn the difficulty down, and I'm not sure if that would affect the number of spawns. So I'm just going to leave it for now, I think. Or at least wait for a good stopping point. Find out some nice spell scrolls for Nira. Minsk is pretty much by himself. Now, I should say, this in sort of this dead area, that we are going to rescue Daenerys so as to complete Minsk's quest, and then we are going to game the system and have her wander off and get killed, so as to be able to keep Minsk in the party.
My honor is
In
my
previous games, I would either take Daenerys because she's perfectly
For the
reasonable
glory of
for
Helm!
mage pickup, or I would, you know, not take Minsk. But as this situation presents itself for this game, I'm kind of stuck with Minsk for the time being, and I've let my reputation get too high to take Kagan back, I imagine. But I want to keep Nira in the party for her DLC stuff, so
Eat flaming or possibly frosty death.
so we're kind of stuck on having to keep Nira in the party. And I lost count of the
Helm as you
Gnolls,
will.
so tragedy there. But we got to be at or above 30, so as you can see, lots of Gnolls. And we're going to go ahead and level up. Oh, she's not at an odd level. Okay, good thing I checked that. She can't get any more proficient in anything. So I think maybe a dagger. You never know when you might find a good dagger. And then we'll just stick with the routine. Find traps, open locks. And maybe a little pickpocket too. You never know when you might need that. Except now she's a level 4 thief, She's got 28 hit points. It's going to be a while before she levels up again. And Dianera is down in this pit here. So we're going to go ahead and... She's not loading in. Okay. I don't know what to do about that. Maybe I just didn't go deep enough. We'll go ahead and do this first, though, because this part annoys me. And we're going to go ahead and use the sleep scroll on whatever's up here.
As you will.
It'll be another bunch of tight spaces. So we've got 5 gnolls up here, and we're just going to knock them all out. So there we go. Most of them are knocked out.
Stand back and
They're also
watch
the special
this.
kind. Gnoll veterans, so pretty intense. I think we'll get them all easily. You can also walk around more up here than I actually do, but I was kind of sick of the Gnoll thing, and then I knew the video was getting long. So there's really no sense once you get Dianera to just go through the whole thing. And the other reason is, as you can see, a lot of my party's pretty hurt, and I don't have any way to heal them other than drinking our health potions, which sell for 100 gold a piece. And that's kind of expensive. I have a lot of money, but that's kind of expensive. So I'd rather not spend my money on potions. Because there's for all intents and purposes, unless you grind out in the forest regions, there's a fixed amount of money in this game. And I'd really rather not have it be spent on health potions. It's like blowing your whole check on lottery tickets, you know?
As you will.
Plus, you may not even have to use said health potions. So we're going to go down here and see if Dianera is loaded in. There she goes. Okay, so she doesn't pop into existence until you're like all the way on the ground. We'll have Minsk be the one to break the news to her.
My decency is refreshing. So many we meet are lacking.
And we'll tell her that she's coming because otherwise Minsk won't come along. And I tried to see what would happen if you told Nira that you didn't want her in the party anymore, just to see if she would like leave forever. And she says she'll go back to the Friendly Arm Inn. So I'd rather not do that. She explains their backstory. You can read it if you'd like. I'm not really going to talk through it because I have zero intention of keeping Dianera for any period of time. And see, if you remove her, Minsk goes too. Come along, Minsk. So there's almost nothing you can do to prevent that. And I thought about just continuing on this way, but I just don't have that extra character. So here we go. We're gonna reload, and we've told Kaivan to wait the experience for getting Dianera in the party, aka rescuing her, causes Nira to level up, which is nice. And we're just going to send Dianera on a scouting mission to ascertain whether or not there are any monsters down here. No. So that's good. Good scouting, Dianera. And maybe there are monsters. Well, you should check, being a powerful wizard, if there's anything down here. Oh, there's Varts. Surely you can punch them all to death. So this is her duel to make sure. Oh, she can't. She can't punch down all those Varts. So that's it for Dianera. She dies in the Gnoll Stronghold trying to punch down a bunch of Zvarts in some strange ritual. And we've got our party back the way that I want it for this particular playthrough. And I'm going to drop the level because Nira is ready to take an odd level. There we go. Put the difficulty back up, and
As you
back
will.
to gaming. So we're just going to go down there and kill those Zvarts so that Minsk can get his revenge for Dianera's unfortunate punching-related ritualistic death. And then we're going to skedaddle, more or less, because there's really not that much left to do here besides kill hordes of enemies that may remain. I actually think about leaving, but then I think better of it and decide Minsk would feel
With
better
Helm's
if we
blessing.
avenged Dianera. I checked the bottom of this pit because I seem to have a memory of there being treasure or something down in one of these pits that wasn't in the form of Dianera, but I was wrong. So we'll continue up here, and we're gonna have another fight where there's a crap load of gnolls. Oh, there are only Zvarts now. So that's good. Pleasant little surprise.
Butt-kicking for goodness.
Little packets of experience are all you are to me, Zvarts.
As you wish. As you
Ooh.
will.
Alright, there we go. So, you can obviously cross over to the other side. I don't know if there's anything there or not right now. But we're just not going to bother because it probably is just Zvarts or something useless. And I'm still under the impression that there's treasure in a pit or something. So we're going to walk down the Dianera steps here. And we'll have a Jauntus lay on hands just in case one of those Zvarts gets a little touchy. And they're actually walking up the stairs. So that's
Right, what's this
scary and unusual.
With Helm's
Now, one thing that action over there on the right that myself, Imoen, and
My blade will cut you down to
someone
size.
else did,
As you will.
Nira, I think, you need to be very careful of that in the Gnoll Stronghold, because if you tell your party members to attack something and they're trying to get up or down the stairs and they're blocked, they'll just start wandering around. And in the Gnoll Stronghold, where there are hordes of enemies, that's a real good way to get yourself killed. So,
As you will.
if it's your first time playing or whatever, that's just a little pro tip, more or less. Don't, watch your characters and make sure they're not wandering around like I was just there. So, that pretty much does it for the Gnoll Stronghold. We only neglected like 2 little areas of it. And we will be walking back to Nashkel with our depressed and heartbroken Minsk. And all in all, a pretty successful trip. The sad part is that the forest region gave us way
We
more
follow them with
problems
Helm's
than
blessing.
the stronghold itself. Because of the winter wolves and dire wolves and all other brand of nonsense, mostly the winter and dire wolves. And the 2 guys trying to cut down a tree. And the fastest dart thrower in the West, for all intents and purposes. They gave us a pretty bad time, but we are finally donezo, and we're gonna head on back to Nashkel, where we'll be welcomed, hopefully,